Hey everybody, it's Lynnea for Miss Ink Stamps. Today I'm using some older products, but some of my favorites, to create a masculine Valentine's Day card that could even be mass-produced for all of the guys in your life. So I'm using the Punny Farm Goats stamp set, which is one of my favorite Miss Ink stamp sets. Let's start though with the stripes stencil. This is a stencil that I'm going to be using for today's card, but there's lots of patterns that you could use to create a design like I am today. I'm just going to take advantage of the linear aspect of the stencil, and I'm going to create kind of a plaid, but like a V plaid that comes down at the bottom of my card. You will see what I mean as I create. So right now I am just trying to figure out how I want to lay out my stencil, and at first I thought that I needed to mark the center point of my card, and I thought that I would have my lines kind of coming in. You can kind of see how I want to have this diagonal instead of a straight line, and I thought that I would have it meet in the bottom, but I thought that would look a little weird, so I ended up going from the left corner up to about the middle-ish of the right-hand side of the card. I had sprayed the back of my stripe stencil with pixie spray, but I am going to add some masking tape as well. Because these lines are super skinny, they're going to want to move. So I have the pixie spray there so that they don't want to move, but then I also, just for extra reinforcement, I put some of that masking tape down. I almost forgot to mask off the top of my stencil, but you want to make sure that if you're going to replicate this design that you do mask that off. I'm going to be using some shades of Distress Oxide ink today, so I have Fossilized Amber, and then I will also use Peacock Feathers. You can use any inks that you like. I have hybrid inks, I have dye inks, and this is kind of a hybrid ink as well, but more on the pigment side, I think. You can use any inks that you want, any colors that you want. However, the stencil is going to overlap. So you want to make sure that you are choosing colors that are compatible with each other and that will mix nicely. I'm just going to peel off this stencil, and then I'm going to line this up going the other way. And I did give it a quick wipe before I lined it up so that I wouldn't transfer the yellow ink. I did a little pencil mark just so that I could get this lined up nice and straight. And then I'm going to go in with Peacock Feathers over on the other side. A tip for working with the stripe stencil, or any stencil that has little pieces, you want to kind of go with the grain. So see how I am working with the stripes? Instead of going in a usual circular motion for blending, I am going kind of straight with my blending brush. So here's my background. You can see how this is like a V plaid pattern, or like a triangle plaid, I guess you could say. There's like 3 different kind of triangles there, and in the middle the colors overlap to make a nice green color. So if you're going to replicate this, make sure that you choose colors that are going to mix nicely. So here's some images from the Punny Farm Goat stamp set. I stamped up 2 little goats, and I'm going to use them on my Valentine today. I'm just going to color them up with some warm gray markers. You can use any marker colors that you like. If you prefer the cool grays, if you prefer browns, go ahead and do what you like. I just happen to like the warm grays for critters. So for their bodies, I'm going to use W0 and W2, and then I'm actually going to end up bringing in some W3 as well. You're going to kind of see me just keep working this color, going back to the dark and the light, and then the dark and the light, until I get the desired depth of color that I'm looking for. But I am using warm grays, so I end up using W0, 2, 3, and then I have 5 and 7 as well for the little hooves. When I color, I like to start with my darkest and then go out to my light. Usually I use just 2 colors, but for these critters, I wanted there to be more dimension, so I'm going to use more colors. So that's why I use the 3 markers for the 1 color blend. But really, my coloring is very easy and very simple. Start with my darkest, then if I'm using my medium, go to the medium and then to the light. Nothing really fancy, but it definitely gets the job done, and these little goats from the Punny Farm Goat stamp set are just too cute. Once they were done, I trimmed them out with my scissors, and I also stamped a sentiment from the decaf background stamp. This stamp set is awesome for that fun background, but then I love all those little skinny sentiments. I love skinny sentiments for my card because they're great to just kind of tuck in under an image. Like I'm going to tuck in this love you always sentiment underneath my goats. They're perfect. I love them. So I'm going to pop everything up with foam, including a foam strip behind the sentiment, and add that to the bottom of my card, kind of where those lines meet, right at that little V portion there. And then to finish off the card, I'm going to use some clear liquid shimmer and just add that all over the goats, and this card is done. I hope you liked this easily to mass produce masculine Valentine's Day card. I think it would be great for all the guys in my life. I will leave links to all of the Miss Ink Stamps products that I used in the video description below. Thank you all for watching. I will see you again soon. Bye! Thank you again very much for watching this video. If you liked this video and you'd like to see more from me, please hit that subscribe button that is on the screen now. And here are a few other videos that I thought you might enjoy.